Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid to late January 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Leos in mid to late January? We're moving on into Aquarius season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo in mid to late January. What's the vibe? What's the energy here for my good friends, please? Oh, there we go. Very quick. So the Magician, huh? Now, this card does have similarities to the Magician that's in the actual tarot deck, but he does have some differences for sure, because this is an oracle deck. So it can deal with things like manifesting, but there's like unseen angles when it comes to this card in particular. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So yeah, looking over here at the box, we see this sharp dressed individual doing all sorts of magic tricks. He's kind of making a dove appear out of nowhere, doing a little ring trick. He's got the coins. So, of course, just like the Magician within the tarot deck, it can represent manifesting, creating. So, if there's certain things you've been purposely trying to manifest or bring into your life, this is great. Even if you haven't been, you might be such a magnet in this time where it's like you're pulling stuff in without even realizing it, which could be cool depending on what you're pulling in, right? Sometimes it could be like, oh, okay, how did I create this one? So I like it for creation. I like it for control as well. So if you've been dealing with any situations that are a little out of hand, the Magician is good for setting things and making them more controllable, if that makes sense. Now, the difference with this card that's not similar at all to the Magician in the tarot deck is the fact that this card could also represent illusion. Big swing, right? We go from manifesting to illusion. And the reason I say that is when you think about magicians or magic shows in general, there's sleight of hand going on, right? Where the magician's like, hey, look at this hand, while the other hand is doing something different, or they got something up their sleeves. So I would say there could be certain situations where there might be a blind spot, or there might be a dot that you haven't connected yet, or something that you're not quite seeing. So we'll see if that shows up within the reading. We're going to let him keep doing his little magic tricks. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Leos. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. There was a ton of strategy showing up in your reading last week. The reading was titled They Are Planning. Now, you know how it goes with reading. Sometimes your energy shows up, sometimes it's somebody else, but I was just getting planning, strategy, putting something into action. So whether it was advice for some of you from Spirit, where it's like, all right, Leo, maybe you should take a bit of a structured approach to something, or someone you may have been dealing with who has like a little plan of action moving forward. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it is for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Leo. What we got in mid to late January, please. There we go. Thank you. Okay. It's a good start. I mean, I'll take it. We have the 6 of Wands. That's actually one of the Leo power cards, too. So I do like the 6 of Wands. That's usually an energy that seems to be going rather well, actually. That's like a win victory card. Let's get a couple more. Okay. So these are totally opposite sides of the spectrum. Okay, we got the 3 of Swords right here. Let's get one more out here, and we'll start piecing it together. That could be like a little thorn in the side. Let's get one more. What do we have here for Leo? Thank you. Okay. Lots of energy swirling, Leo. So we have the Chariot right here on the back end. We're definitely going to have to break this down, because there's a level of complexity that I don't normally see in Leo readings. Usually with Leo readings, to me, it's like very straightforward, very fire sign like. What you see is what you get. There's a lot of, I don't want to say conflicting energy, but there's nuance to it. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, there's a nice element distribution. And for those of you that watch my readings, you know I always think the elements are super important because it tells us the areas of life or how energy could be flowing. And that's one thing I love about this week's energy is that it's moving, it's doing stuff. It doesn't feel stale or stagnant, which could be good for a lot of you. But we have fire, air, and water. Fire, the realm of action. That's your power element. That's your comfort zone. So whether it's the actions you take, actions other people take, actions you decide not to take, usually it's very good. It's very passionate and motivated. The downside to fire is sometimes it could get a little too intense or it could spin out of hand. In the center, we have the air. That's the logical mind, the pragmatic mind, where it's just like super intelligent. It's very straightforward. Air can also deal with communication, so conversations, talks. The downside to air energy, sometimes it could be a little cold, it could be a little detached. So this is something we're going to want to look at, this dynamic for sure. And then, yeah, here on the back end, we have water, the internal realm. So the emotions, the feelings. It's great for creativity and expressing oneself. I love it for that. Uh, Water can also deal with interpersonal connections and relationships, people or things we care deeply for. Downside to water, it's always up and down, right? Like it's not very solid, stable, and sturdy. And all this energy is in motion this week. So let's go through and start building it out piece by piece. Position number one, Six of Wands. Now, astrologically, this is a card that does link to Leo. It is one of your power cards. Love the Six of Wands. To me, we see that individual, they're in a little parade, have a laurel over their head, and it's like beautiful. To me, it's I'm standing victorious. So I love it for that. It's something that goes great according to plan. Something is beautiful. This is a card of notoriety. It's a card of catching someone's attention. So everyone knows that Leos have a certain magnetism to them. So when I see the Six of Wands, it's like, yeah, eyes on you, eyes on you. So whether it's like a work thing, career thing, school thing, or even someone in your life, it's like gaining recognition for things that you've done. So I love it for that. It could just be a straight up win or victory. We don't even have to complicate it. The only downside to this is sometimes it can represent an individual you're connected to that might be a little too egotistical. So if you have dealings with somebody where they have like a really strong ego to them, or they can never admit when they're wrong, they could do no wrong. Sometimes this card could represent that. So again, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm taking it as a win until we see otherwise. And yeah, it's great for notoriety. So if you're trying to like start a business or be seen on social media or anything that requires getting attention, like this card is really, really good for that. Now, moving to the middle, we have the other edge of the sword, so to speak. We got the Three of Swords. So it's like we go from like this beautiful, happy, warm, and fuzzy victory energy into the Three of Swords. Now, I always say when it comes to the struggle cards, they're on a spectrum, right? Like it could always just be a minor thing. It could be like a little gloomy, a little down, but it could also range all the way up to like anxiety, stress, nervousness, anger, heartbroken, feeling betrayed. It could be anything in that gamut. So when I see like the Six of Wands with the Three of Swords combo, if there's a certain energy about it that feels bittersweet, where it's like, oh no, there's great stuff. There's something here that I love. There's something here that I like. But this thing, it's like really sticking under my skin. Like there's something that's under my skin, and we need to figure out what it is, whether it is a situation, whether it is a problem. Now, the thing with the Three of Swords that I like is that it could be healed from. So whether it is something you're going through now, when I see the Three of Swords, it's like, all right, that's not a permanent energy. It could be worked through. It's only temporary. So moving to the back end, we come in with a very intense energy here. We got the Chariot. Now, this is from your zodiacal neighbor, the Cancer Collective. So maybe you have some placements there. Maybe you're connected to Cancer. I like this because it's an action movement card. Now, it can represent distance, it can represent travel, it could represent modes of transportation like cars and vehicles. So, we got stuff going on in that area of the world. This card could represent it. It's going somewhere, though. Like, that's the big thing with the Chariot. It's either coming or going, and it's going quick. This card is very, very fast. So, it's like we have this little hop, skip, and a jump the way the energy seems to flow. So, hopefully, this is a good energy that's coming in. Now, the downside to the Chariot is that although it's determined, although it's energy in motion, sometimes it could be a little too aggressive. I always say that about the Chariot. I always remember that chariots were initially made as instruments of war. So sometimes this energy could be a little too aggressive, a little too pushy. That's the downside of it. But the energy seems to be going good. This could be an energy bouncing back. Worst case scenario for some of you, this could be a flight response as well. Like when I see this, energy is going good. Oh, first sense of a problem, boom, like the energy shoots off. So watch out for anyone that has flight responses or like certain avoidant tendencies. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Leo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you. And yeah, I always like to, this is where I go intuitive, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Six of Wands. That's a good energy, hopefully. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Six of Wands here, please? What do we got? Thank you. Cool. I can't dislike this energy here on the front end. Like, it just feels good. It feels like a win or a victory. It's beautiful. I just want to see what's coming up next. That's really what's piquing my interest, because it's like, yeah, I like that. This is really good. So Two of Pentacles is usually harmonious and balanced. I can't help but feel that this is like a winner victory coming your way. So whether it is something you've been working towards for a while, or it's something that kind of just magnetically comes in, I feel for a lot of you, that's why the reading is complex, because we have such good energy here. But why is the Three of Swords there? It's like something is so great, something could be almost perfect, but boom, what's this? What is this popping up? Now, the Two of Pentacles, I always say, is harmonious. It's balanced. We see that individual, they're like kind of balancing out those pentacles to me. It represent making the right choice, right decision, just feeling harmonious, making the right move. So I think this is great. The only downside to the Two of Pentacles, sometimes it could be a little scrambled or a little too busy, too much stuff on its plate. So I would say for a lot of Leos in this time, just avoid putting too much responsibility on your plate. Don't overload yourself. And I know Leos always feel like they always got to be moving, always got to be doing this, and they're very selfless individuals. So like when I see this combination, it's like, all right, just don't overdo it. Just let something flow how it needs to flow. But aside from that, like this could be for work and money. This could just be recognition in general. There's a supportive energy working for you, not against you. So again, we got the winner victory right here in the front, and it feels pretty big. Let's keep moving, because now I want to see what that Three of Swords and Chariot are about. Because it's like, okay, well, if this energy is so good, then why are we seeing this stuff? Why are we seeing this stuff? So what's going on in Three of Swords? Why is it here for Leo? How's that Three of Swords here? Now it's being specific. Okay. Oh, this energy seems to just like lose steam a little bit. All right, so we have the Ace of Wands in reverse underneath. Okay. So, all right, I have a couple of things. There's like information just streaming through my mind's eye right now. So I'm going to try to break it down into a couple different ways. So, like sometimes where there might be individuals where you say, you speak about something good that's happened to you, where you bring them good news and they kind of like poo poo it, where it's like, hey, this and this happened today. Oh, well, you should be careful about that because that's not always a good thing. To me, it's like somebody downplaying something or downplaying an achievement. So watch out for anybody that does that, because like Three of Swords and the Ace of Wands, it's like I'm letting the air out of the tires, where it's like I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, and then now I feel deflated. Aside from that, there's two other things. The energy could burn itself out a little bit. Like when I see the Three of Swords with the Ace of Wands, it's like it loses steam. So watch out for anything that starts off great or there's really good potential, and then boom, it hits like a speed bump, and it's like, whoa, where'd all that good energy go? What happened? So watch out for situations or problems that pop up where it's like things were going perfectly. What the hell is this? There could be stuff around communication that ties into both, right? Because the suits, and now we have the fire air combination, Ace of Wands in reverse underneath it. This could represent an explosive talk or message or a conversation that gets a little out of hand. So it's like we have a combination of like funky energy here. Just be cautious, especially if there's any individuals out there that like, I don't want to say they put you down, but they put like good news down. Like it's very pessimistic. We're going to keep going. Yeah, we're not going to overcomplicate. I feel like I'm still getting information from it. But let's go on the Chariot here. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame, that energy in the center. because I feel like it doesn't have to do that. I feel like it doesn't have to be. But what's going on the Chariot here? Okay. Okay. All right. So, like, this is you getting your footing again, which I really do like. So, we have the sun in reverse underneath the Chariot, which I think is nice because for a lot of you, you might already know the sun is one of your power cards. The sun is also the most popular card in the deck. Even in reverse, it's very positive here. Now, could this represent information coming to the surface under the Chariot? Sure, it can. Could it represent realizations, revelations? Absolutely. But with the way the energy flows, it's like I'm riding high. Someone lets the air out of my tires. I'm catching my balance again. So it's like a bounce back type of energy here. So whatever things, situations, problems that might pop up in this time, whether it comes from a talk or something else, when I see the Chariot with the sun in reverse, it's like, all right, it's like, all right, you hit me in the face, but you didn't knock me out. It's like I'm taking a shot, but I'm still standing. It's giving me that vibe where it's like, okay, that wasn't easy, but I'm still here. I'm still standing. I have a lot of staying power. Like, so I love the bounce back type of energy we pick up here on the back end. I think it's pretty simple. For some of you, maybe you do need to get away for a little bit. So if you're planning a trip or a vacation, this could be a good thing. Break up the monotony, break up the regular everyday schedule. This energy here wants you to shake things up, so to speak. But I love the bounce back type of energy. But yeah, especially with this talk here in the center, when I see the Chariot with the sun in reverse, some of you might be very tempted to like verbally let someone have it, um, where the energy just like boom, just lets it rip. So like there is this strong energy around the communication I want you to watch out for. But I like the bounce back. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. It's like, yeah, you can't keep me down for long. That's a good thing. But if you look here in the box, position number one, we got the Six of Wands, Two Pentacles. Yeah, that's good. That's great. That's a victory if I've ever seen it. Feels pretty big and sizable too. So I love this. It's like, yeah, this is great. I feel awesome. Moving to the center, I feel like an air being let out of the tire. So watch out for any individuals that like downplay your victories or downplay your optimism. Watch out for people that are a little too pessimistic because it's like someone's letting the air out of my tires. That's the best way I can say it. Watch out for explosive talks or messages, things that get amped up too quick. But yeah, it's so odd how we go from so good to like, all right, where'd this come from? Onto the back end, we have the Chariot with the sun in reverse. That is a Leo energy bouncing back. So even if you're cross watching, this could be about the situation where it's like we're up, we're down, and we're up again. There's like some sort of recovery or bounce back. So I like it. It's like I'm still here, I'm still standing. But it could also represent information coming out, right? Or like revelations, realizations. So like when we see this little warning here around communication and this right next to it, it's like letting the floodgates open. So like there could be certain times with communication where you kind of just let it rip. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get it going here. What do we got for the lovely Leos in the shadows? Let's get it. Yep. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, so there is this little tiptoeing or warning around communication that's even showing up within the shadows here for you, my friends. So we have the Eight of Wands, and that does fit the bill with what we saw in the center of the spread. And something I said very early within the reading. The Eight of Wands to me is very fast moving, similar to the Chariot. So if it is a talk or conversation, it's very fiery. It could get a little out of hand quick. So watch out for any conversations that might do a spin on you when this energy shows up in the shadows, because it kind of comes out of the blue. But I said earlier, there's something here about a flight response. So when this card shows up, it goes quickly. So watch out for any individuals that are like a little flighty, a little flaky, a little avoidant, because this energy could absolutely represent it. I'm not saying like you're any of those things, but the Eight of Wands, it's like here, there, and everywhere. It's always moving. And that's something I picked up in the energy of the reading this week from the beginning, is that the energy is just flowing and zipping and zooming around the Leo collective. So there might be something where you might want to try to calm it down a little bit. But we're just going to leave it at that, Leo. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the January subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or if you'd like to see what 2026 has in store for you, you can book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The January schedule's already up, so you could go check it out and see what's available. It's going quick, but for the January subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's absolutely adorable and is great for readers of all skill levels. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments from today's reading which card spoke to you the most. Even if the reading didn't quite hit, which card was giving you those warm and fuzzies or really caught your attention. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.